make sure that we can improve what we offer to some of the most challenging and most vulnerable young children that we have. I'm going to talk about a programme, peer-to-peer support, going on in Birmingham. We've had a couple of rounds of it. All mainstream schools have taken part so far. It's only been mainstream schools. And Steve and I decided we'd give it a go and see how it worked for us. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the theory, and then Steve's going to talk about the practical involvement in one of the peer reviews. While we're talking, when I get to it, I will pass around some examples of the peer review, but I'll need these back so my copies are Okay, so the Birmingham Education Partnership is a group of head teachers in Birmingham, and the local authority has now commissioned this group. About 80% of the head teachers in Birmingham have joined in. Have commissioned this group of head teachers to do the school self-improvement that previously a local authority would have done. So it's quite a responsibility and a bit of a philosophical change in direction from the original intention, which was to support each other alongside the local authority. Now they're actually doing the work themselves. But some really key points there. Head teacher led, and as Charlie was talking this morning, school-led systems are really, really important. The idea is that nobody is left out. Every school can join in and be part of the family of Birmingham schools. So free schools, academies, private schools if they wish to join in. We're not proud. We belong. Anyone belong. There's some background work that's going on to develop partnerships with people like Birmingham University, where the first university technical college is about to open, so they'll be very keen in training staff and in working with the wider education environment to share some of the theory that comes out of the university and put it into practice. I'm not going to go through every single bullet on every single slide, but I've put the website there at the end that you'll be able to have a look at. You'll appreciate that in Birmingham we're under quite a high level of scrutiny because of the safeguarding issues with our children's services. So part of the reason for the BEP was to try to avoid a capita type takeover of the local authority and say, as a group of head teachers, we can work to make sure that our schools are good and getting better. The other partner in this is CFBT. Don't ask me what it stands for, because when I asked them, they didn't know either. They said they were rebranding themselves. You've got a handout from CFBT there, it's got their website on. The idea there is it's a research group, this. Do a lot of research abroad in particular, but do some work in Britain, and they are supporting partnerships of schools to run school-led systems. They build the capacity by providing you with external training, external support. Although, having said that, what Steve and I are going to talk about, you could do without CFBT. You could do it with a group of schools if you wanted to, without the need to have any external providers in there. So some of the first steps there about changing attitudes, I think a really important bullet there is it's our schools, it's not my school. And that's really something to get over when, as a crew or an alternative provider who has the children that the other schools don't want, you have to remind them, actually, these are your children. These are all Birmingham's children, no matter how naughty or how difficult or challenging they've been. So working with a group of schools for the benefit of our collective group of pupils, making sure that we're collectively responsible and that we use the data that we have to share our collective assets. And that's been really important. If you have a group of schools where one of them is really struggling and another school has the asset that could perhaps address that, then there is a sharing ethos that's being developed through these peer-to-peer programs, which is a professional generosity there. And hopefully capacity building for the future, making sure that people, as we move into the future, have new leaders coming through schools. Again, harking back to what Charlie was talking about this morning. The model is there, and that's explained in more detail on your handout. It's no great surprise. It's a kind of a plan, evaluate, a do, go and do the peer review, and then review, looking at the school support and making sure you review it. But there is a range of different tenets around the outside there. The culture of coaching, perhaps for me, was the one that struck on the training session that we had. There was 2 days training that went along with this. The culture of coaching rather than a culture of judgment. So you're reviewing your colleagues in order to support and coach them, rather than saying, that's not very good, I'm afraid you're only down the bottom on this sheet of paper here. Because they're going to come back and review you. And one of the longest sessions on the training was about giving proper, constructive feedback to colleagues. So sitting from head teacher to head teacher and actually saying, well, I really think you could have done this, this and this a little bit better, but thinking about the language that you use, thinking about how you receive that as a head teacher was taking that up to today. Because it's designed not to feel like our cost said, it's designed to feel like peer-to-peer support. And for some that's been a bit of a challenge, I think. Very much tailored to the local context of your school. When Steve and I went on the training, we sat in the back corner thinking, this is good, we enjoy the session. We get to the end of the first day and they say, right, we're all going to partner up now and form clusters from this group of various schools that have come from around Birmingham. We were sitting there thinking, nobody's going to want to join with us. But in fact, there was a queue of people wanting to have the crew within their cluster. So we ended up having to split. Steve joined one cluster and I joined another. And that was really gratifying because so often crews are left out or they're on the margins or people think, oh, we've nothing to offer. We've gone thinking we can learn a lot from mainstream, and I think we'd underestimated how much mainstream felt that they could learn from us. So that was really brilliant. Professional development at every level. The programme is designed to work with whatever you find when you go and review the school. So if you find that perhaps there's some administrative things that are not working well, well then it'll work at that level. You might get your school business manager to support their school business manager. If you find that it's not working at the level of CPD, then you can look at the programme. So designed to work at any level at all. Going beyond inspection frameworks, I think that's probably the next slide, yes. So the stages that you go through, self-evaluation audit. Now, I've got some examples here, which I'll pass round. There are 3, there's a primary and a secondary. I didn't bring the nursery. I'm assuming nobody's from the nursery. That would really sadden me if we improve some nursery-aged children. So the primary and the secondary one, and then there is an alternative. It's the same information, just laid out in a different way. And this is one that within City of Birmingham School, we've been working on tweaking and changing the wording to make it apply to crews. So if I just give you an example in case it doesn't reach you. One at the original document saying pupil attainment across all groups, learning areas and subject, blah, 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 is exceptional. Well, we've changed, and significantly above the national data. Well, we've changed that to mean to say, compared to baseline on entry, pupils achieve exceptionally well. Because in a crew, you cannot compare yourself to any national benchmark of data. So this version, this way round, is just our suggested changed wording for if any crews were to want to do this project. So I'll pass that one now. And then there's a secondary and a primary version which describe the different themes, the dimensions that will be familiar to you. So you get the theme here, and if you're inspirational, it's this description, excellent or outstanding, effective or good, or not yet effective. And then there are some examples on the example ones. So I'll pass those around so you get a bit of a feel for I'll start that one. I'll get a bit of a feel for the audit. Steve will go into this in a bit more detail, but you do an audit, you then have conversations with the head teachers. You go as a group, you never go just by yourself, 2 or 3 of you, go and do a review that you've agreed with the head, that the head has steered and said, I'd like you to look at this, I'd like you to go into early years and look at that. And then after that you all gather back together, you pool your information, and again with the head teacher decide on what you would like to improve, and you do that via a workshop. So it's a very supportive and very collaborative intervention for the school. Non-threatening, hopefully, well received because you've all agreed to do it. Okay, so the idea is then that it's not episodic, it's woven through the programme for the following year. So it's not a kind of, we've had a review, a bit like Ofsted, we've had Ofsted, got an action plan, let's just forget Ofsted and get on with what we're going to do anyway. It's woven through your CPD, it's woven through your school improvement, it's built into everything you do. And because you see the colleagues that you've been working with on a regular basis, perhaps at groups that you've set up. I've been out for drinks in the evening with my group. We've had a social activity with a work-based theme around it as well, and that's been nice. Then you don't forget it, and you can keep coming back and saying, oh, did you see this in the news, or have you picked that up on Twitter or whatever. Identify some best practice areas, and those for development. So it's positives as well as things to improve. And as a group, you're jointly accountable for the outcomes in each school. It's not just the head of the school who's responsible for improving there. Okay, the sort of practical support that you get from your training, or that you might want to consider using. The school-wide audit, which is going around there. No, that's not what's going around, that's the profile that's going around. The audit is a self-review by head teachers before they decide to take part in this. Helps them look at whether they're open enough and confident enough to do this, because it may not be for everybody. The profiles that are coming around, they obviously pick and use the one that's most appropriate to you. And the intention is not to do every single thread on there. That would be far too big a task. You pick the bits that are going to be most useful to you. There's some training and support in how to give and receive feedback, as I've said. This is what you get from CFBT. There are a number of tools to explore the issues, but they won't be tools that you've never seen. They're things like the Diamond 9. Are people familiar with that, using post-its and pin one at the top, then two, then three, and narrowing it down, and then meeting in a group, reconfiguring your diamond to see what your top priority ends up being. I think we did the fishbone thing where you have all the fishbones and it comes up to the head of the fish and what you're going to do next. Hinkle ladders, why is that a problem? Well, why is that a problem? Well, why is that a problem? Until you get to the root of the problem. So none of those things would be new to you. It was just a chance to bring them all together and share. We had some support in how to write a line of inquiry. So how to set a hypothesis, think about exactly what it is you need to see in the school to test that hypothesis out. I guess that's the sort of thing that Ofsted inspectors do. Scheduling, quite a lot of scheduling to do to make sure that you do see what you need to see in a very short period of time, around about a day in total, starting at 8, finishing at 4, and that's the whole lot done. And then there is a resource handbook, which is about back of the handbook, that will be today. But obviously in that handbook are contained those things that I've been passing around there. Okay, I'm going to pass on to Steve now, give you a practical example of what we'll be doing, and then we'll have a bit of time for some questions at the end.
Yep. Okay, and just wanted to stop very, very quickly, so you're not sitting listening all the way through it. Just 2 minutes, literally, the person next to you is some headlines, perhaps that you'd be willing to shout out from 1 word, 2 words, of what you would want to get out of one of your peers, head teacher, colleague, coming to have a look at what your school does. So just 2 minutes next to the person next to you is something you might be able to feed back to us, that'd be great.
Fresh